Part 68. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 683. When the Chongshan and Imei sects had a sword duel at Tianzi Peak in Zhongnan Mountain, Su Junming only left Yan Chixia in charge and did not go there himself. Therefore, this was the first time for him to see this famous Buddhist treasure. Being regarded by Buddhism as the number one treasure to suppress the human world, its power is naturally extremely extraordinary. The seven treasures of the seven demon-conquering treasures, the chain of rings, the vermilion wheel, the alms bowl, the golden bell, the sword of wisdom, the bell, and the last level of the mirror are all top-grade immortal weapons. The fifth level sword of wisdom is a top-quality immortal weapon with 10 restrictions. The sixth floor Brahma bell is a top-quality immortal weapon with 11 restrictions. The treasure mirror on the last level is a top-quality fairy weapon at the perfection level. And the cloth flag carrying the golden banner of the seven treasures was, as he expected, a Bagua formation. Like the Tianluo umbrella he refined, it could effectively combine the power of the 8 treasures. In addition to the 7 treasures for subduing demons, the 8th treasure is the 10-color relic placed in the Qian position and presiding over the 7 treasures. Su Junming's consciousness was immersed. The vast and tyrannical power of the Buddha reflects into the sea of consciousness. Follow closely. Namo Amitabha. The Buddha's name, which sounded like a bell, was like a sound that awakened the world. Su Junming instantly had the idea of kneeling on the ground and taking refuge in Buddhism. The bronze mirror in the danchan instantly shot out a ray of green light, making Su Junming come to his senses. Looking at the 10-color relics, Su Junming took a deep breath. What a powerful Buddha's voice! The 10-color relics that can shake his soul are at least one, which can reach the highest level of the 4 realms of Arhats, the Sotapanna Arhat, which is equivalent to the relics left by the great Buddhist masters who have perfected the golden immortal. Of course, it could be higher. Suddenly, these 10-colored relics started to beat violently. If Su Junming hadn't created a space in his palm and the powerful power of space had blocked off the outside world, I'm afraid the relic would have flown away. It's not that easy to run away. A silver-white talisman sank into the relic, and the latter instantly became quiet. Thanks to that willow branch, his understanding of the seal path and the space path has reached the golden immortal realm. It's enough to deal with one relic. At the same time, thousands of miles away, in the Tianjing Valley of Jialigong Mountain in southern Xinjiang. Sitting cross-legged on a stone futon in the middle, Zun Sheng was dressed in shabby monk robes, and the strong Buddha light on his body gradually weakened. Zen Master, how are you? Zen Master Zhi Gong asked quickly. After sighing, Zun Sheng shook his head. With your magical power, coupled with the power of the Buddha's relics, you can't take back the 7 treasures' golden banner. There was a hint of disbelief in Zen Master Zhi Gong's tone. He has been guarding the 7 treasures' golden building for many years, and he knows the power of this treasure best. Even if the ice phoenix fairy Su Huang has become a true immortal, as long as the backhand in the core of the 7 treasures' golden building, the 10-color relics, can be retrieved instantly no matter how far away it is. This treasure. This is why he felt relieved to let Zen Master Tianmeng take the 7 treasures' golden banner to recover the Mahavira treasure house. Looking at the surprised eyes of Zhi Gong, the 7 disciples around him, and Zhu Yimu, even with Zun Sheng's thousands of years of cultivation, he couldn't help but feel a slight blush on his face. It should be Chongshan true monarch Su Junming who takes action, otherwise the old monk will not fail in his efforts. True Lord Chongshan Su Junming. Everyone's expressions changed slightly. For many years in the past, this name was like a huge mountain, always pressing on the top of Buddhism. No matter how hard they tried, it seemed difficult to remove it. If Su Junming, the true monarch of Chongshan, is stationed in Suilian Valley, and there is no Kaibao golden pillar, we are afraid that it will be difficult to rescue senior brother, Beimei and Kongchuo Zen Masters Higong said. Zun Shen nodded, thought for a moment, and then turned his eyes. Yu Mu, did Su Huang personally say that he wanted to challenge the old monk? She said that as long as Zen Master can beat her, he will let Master, Uncle, and Senior Tianmeng go. Zhu Yumu nodded quickly. Master, Su Wang's words cannot be taken lightly, otherwise there would be no need for Su Junming to take charge. Wen Cheng, the boss of Lishan's 7 friends, said quickly. Master, what the senior brother said is true. The lessons learned from Taicheng Mountain are not far away. If we go and fall into the ambush carefully laid by Chongshan Academy, we will probably suffer heavy losses. Yan Wang, the youngest of the 7 friends of Lishan and the one with the highest cultivation level, spoke. Speaking of Taicheng Mountain, everyone changed their colors. To this day, no one can figure out who has such great power and can actually destroy the Taicheng Mountain demon ancestor and 100,000 demon cultivators in one fell swoop. However, most people thought that it was the Lingkong immortal realm that took action. He didn't think of Chongshan Academy. In the hearts of everyone in the cultivation world, although Master Su Junming and his disciples are extremely powerful, their cultivation levels have improved rapidly. But compared to Sima Ling, the demon ancestor of Taicheng Mountain who has practiced for tens of thousands of years, and most of the demon masters in the entire Shushan world. Still a lot worse. As a well-known and upright sect, Chongshan Academy should not do such lowly things, Zun Sheng said. Zen Master, now the killing calamity has begun. Taicheng Mountain and the 100,000 demonic cultivators are a warning, and we have to guard against it. Zun Sheng pondered for a moment. In this way, if you spread the story about my fight with Su Huang and attract everyone, in public, even if Chongshan Academy is secretly plotting, they will still be wary of it. Disciple, obey. Zhi Gong. Zen Master. You come with me to Tianzu. It's hard for me to defeat Chongshan Academy with the power of our Middle-earth Buddhism school. We need the help of Tianzu Buddhism school. Yes. Not to mention how Buddhism acted, after sealing the 7 treasures golden building, Su Junming reached out and picked off the 10-color relic at the top. Without its main camera hub, the remaining 7 demon-conquering treasures would not be pinched through the air. Please keep this 7-treasure golden banner with me for now. I will turn it into a Buddha and practice it again before returning it to you. Everything depends on my mentor's instructions. After nodding slightly, Su Junming took a step back to Chongshan residence. In the Tiangong Hall, take out the 7 treasures golden building and put it aside for the time being. Take the 10-color relic in your hand. In the 7 treasures golden building, the 7 treasures for subduing demons combined are not as valuable as this relic. Needless to say, there is a vast amount of Buddhist power inside. What's even more precious is that it contains a scripture. Many treasures Tathagata Sutra. This is a scripture that talks about the cultivation method above the golden immortal. It is also the second time Su Junming encountered the cultivation method that describes the higher realm. The first one is the Zhuolong family witch book he got from Master Huosang. In this secret book of the witch clan, the higher level witch is called a great witch. It is also divided into 3 levels, upper, middle and lower. Zhuolong's witchcraft book contains a complete set of great shamans' cultivation methods and combat techniques. Su Junming can use it to understand and develop higher level cultivation techniques of the Panhuang Sutra, so as to further his martial arts cultivation. But martial arts is different from immortality, and their methods of practice are completely different. He was unable to comprehend the higher level of immortality from Zhuolong's witchcraft books. But this many treasures Tathagata Sutra can. Buddhism, like Taoism, was also born out of Suanmen. Although the 2 cultivation methods are different, they reach the same goal through different paths and can be used as reference. In this many treasures Tathagata Sutra, the great realm above the Arhat realm is called the Bodhisattva realm. There are 4 realms of Arhat, Anagama, Stoksam, and Sotapanna, which correspond to the heavenly immortals, true immortals, mysterious immortals, and golden immortals of Taoist immortals. The Bodhisattva realm also has 4 realms, called Manjushri, Avalokitesvara, Samantabhadra, and Kasidagarbha. The 4 great bodhisattvas represent the 4 realms of Bodhisattva. In the Many Treasures Tathagata Sutra, there are complete Bodhisattva realm exercises, as well as methods for cultivating Buddhist magical powers such as the 8 heavenly dragons, the great and small sandalwood Buddha lights, and the great Vajra divine palm. There is no doubt that this is a Buddhist scripture that understands the truth and will be regarded as a gem in the hands of anyone who practices Buddhism. However, Su Junming is a Taoist and has little interest in Buddhist techniques. The only use is to use it as a reference. I just don't know what the Taoist realm above the Golden Immortal is called. He has yet to see a single scripture that describes the Taoist cultivation method above the Golden Immortal realm. After taking out the scriptures hidden in the relics and studying them carefully, Su Junming's understanding of the path of cause and effect improved by leaps and bounds. However, the path of cause and effect was not his main practice. After understanding its practice, he did not continue. Put away the scriptures carefully and carefully. To be able to leave such complete skills in the middle thousand world that exceed the specifications of this world must be possible only if there are Buddhist cultivators from more powerful worlds who come to this world to preach. Su Junming's expression became excited. In other words, there is a vast world above this world. With the bronze mirror by his side, he was not afraid of insufficient resources or a catastrophe. Instead, he was most afraid of being cut off from the road ahead and completely losing hope for improvement. Now this Many Treasures Tathagata Sutra, coupled with the previously obtained Zhuang's Witchcraft book, all prove that there is a broader great thousand world above Chixian Shenzhou. In this way, he was relieved. It is necessary to end the fight for the Shushan world as soon as possible and go to the Lingkong Fairyland to see it. If Chixian Shenzhou has clues about the world, it may end up in the Lingkong Immortal world, not the Shushan world. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 684. Chapter 666, Master Bliss, 6 Monsters of the Universe. Is this the Supreme Master Li Daiyu in front of me? Hearing the movement, Li Jingxiu stopped his rays of light and turned around to see 2 rays of light, one green and one white, flying towards them. When he got close, 2 figures, one tall and one short, emerged from them. It is the 2 elders of Dawang, Old Man Guzu and Lu Concubine. It turns out to be fellow Daoist Kuzu and fellow Daoist Lu. The friendship between Li Jingxiu and Dawang is not very deep, but they are both the top experts in the spiritual world, and they have met each other more or less. After greeting each other, looking at the direction fellow Daoist Li is going, is he also going to the sky to watch Zun Sheng fight with the Ice Phoenix Fairy? Li Jingxiu's heart moved. It seems that the same is true for the 2 fellow Taoists. Haha, now in the whole cultivation world, apart from the incident of 100,000 demon cultivators in Taicheng Mountain being shocked and killed, this incident is the most sensational. And whether it is fellow Taoist Zun Sheng or fellow Taoist Su Huang, they are both true immortals and powerful people in the practice world. Watching them fight can also bring a lot of enlightenment to us. Li Jingxiu nodded. That's what I thought too. There was a pause. You 2 Taoists have been cultivating Taoism for a long time and have extensive friendships. Do you know the inside story of what happened at Taicheng Mountain? I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint fellow Daoist Li since the 2 of us returned from Zongnan Mountain. We have been practicing in seclusion in the barren mountains of East China. This is the first time we have left seclusion. However, the demon ancestor of Taicheng Mountain is a powerful remnant from ancient times. He comes out of seclusion once every 720 years and explains the great path of Demon Luo for 99 and 81 days, without interruption for tens of thousands of years. This lecture has attracted 100,000 demon cultivators, and the essence of demons in the entire Shushan world is here. With such a force, even if the Lingkong Immortal Realm takes action, it will not wipe out the entire Taicheng Mountain silently. After Li Jingxia groaned for a moment, he nodded in agreement. Fellow Taoist, you mean that this matter was done by the demon ancestor of Taicheng Mountain himself? Taoist Kuzu nodded. As we all know, demonic monks are selfish, cruel, and vicious. For their own selfish interests, they dare to kill the whole world. The demon ancestor of Taicheng Mountain has been practicing since ancient times. He has become the demon among demons and the master of all demons. His cultivation level is so high that almost no one can cure him. Only he has the possibility, ability, and character to kill 100,000 people and achieve his own demonic path. 100,000 demon cultivators, the lowest ones are all golden elixirs. Most of them are in the Yuanying realm, there are hundreds in the Yuanshen realm, and there are dozens in the fairy realm. If we can sacrifice their blood, it will be enough to develop supreme magic skills. The demon ancestor of Taicheng Mountain preached to the world and allowed countless people to practice the demonic way, just for this harvest. Otherwise, according to the nature of the demonic people, how could he preach to the people of the world in vain? After Li Jingxu thought for a moment, he felt that Master Kuzu's inference was the most reasonable. He glanced at the old lady Lu, who was following closely beside the old man Kuzu. She had white hair and red face, and was no longer as ugly as before. She smiled and said with a cup of her hand, "I was so focused on talking that I forgot to congratulate the two virtuous couples for finally achieving enlightenment after going through many hardships." Hearing this, old man Kuzu also showed a sweet smile on his face. Next to her, Madame Lu also looked shy. Speaking of this, even though the two of them have been practicing for thousands of years, they still blush like ordinary people, with a slight hint of panic. "Thank you for the compliment. It's embarrassing to say it. If I had been as free and easy as fellow Taoist Li, maybe the two of us would have achieved righteousness long ago." Old man Kuzu sighed with envy. Apart from anything else, Li Jingxu definitely has enviable qualities when it comes to relationships. Beiwa Fairy Ni Fangxian and Five Blessings Fairy Sun Sun were both extremely beautiful and peerless beauties in the world of cultivation. They were also talented and possessed extraordinary Taoism. You can imagine how arrogant the two of them were, but they still let him settle things in the end. Now the two women work together with the same husband, and they are very happy. In the world of cultivation, apart from Yizhou, there is no other person who can compare with him in the righteous way. Li Jingxu smiled and did not dwell too much on this issue. Outsiders only saw him enjoying the blessings of others, and no one knew how much he suffered from splints back then. The chatting time passed quickly, and the tall and majestic Tianshan mountain gradually appeared in front of us. The snow-capped peaks look like giants fulfilling their duties, arranged in neat military formations. The sky is connected to the ground, and it is majestic. The three of them didn't know where Ice Phoenix Fairy Su Huang Xulian Valley was, but the place for the fight was not difficult to find. From a distance, you can see an icy blue divine light stretching hundreds of feet across, standing in mid-air, and the surrounding ice aura is constantly being absorbed by it. Ice Soul Divine Light. As the Su Huang lineage continues to grow, their unique magical power has become widely known. The three of them flew in the direction of the Bingso Divine Light. As they approached, they saw Su Huang, the Ice Phoenix Fairy with a majestic appearance, sitting cross-legged and meditating under the Divine Light. Except for the Ice Soul Divine Light that contained awe-inspiring power, the three of them could not detect the slightest aura on Su Huang's body. Neither Li Jingxu nor Old Man Kuzu and Lu Concubine were surprised by this. Whether they are direct descendants of Chongshan or inner disciples, they are all very good at hiding their own aura. Generally, as long as they don't take the initiative, you don't know what level their cultivation has reached. Around Su Huang's position, there were basically people watching the battle on the hills within a few thousand feet. Lu Nu glanced at it and frowned slightly. Why are so few people coming? Whether it is Ice Phoenix Fairy Su Huang or Zen Master Zunshen, they are both the top masters in the cultivation world. It stands to reason that such a powerful battle will definitely cause a sensation in the entire cultivation world, and countless masters will definitely come to watch. But looking at the auras around them, there were not even 1,000 people in total. It was really beyond her expectation. Li Jingxiu took a look and realized something in her heart. It seems that the start of the killing calamity and the disappearance of 100,000 demon cultivators in Taicheng Mountain have made most people cautious. Old man Kuzu nodded in agreement. The 1,000 years of killing tribulation was already terrifying, but they didn't expect that the Taicheng Mountain incident would happen at the very beginning. 100,000 demon cultivators are 100,000 middle and high-level cultivators in the world of cultivation, many of whom are even top masters who have practiced for thousands of years. In particular, Old Man Shivi, Lord Fire Spirit, Old Buddha Chili, and Lord Invisible are the top demon masters in the world of spiritual practice. Even they disappeared without a trace, which really frightened the courage of many people. As soon as the catastrophe started, there was such a big commotion that instantly made everyone cautious. In order not to die in the catastrophe, most casual cultivators began to close their doors, chant Huangting quietly, and ignore external affairs. The only people who are still hanging out now are people like Li Jingxiu, Old Man Kuzu, and Lu Nu, who have been practicing for thousands of years and have confidence in their own cultivation. The rest are those who do not practice meritorious deeds, have bad character, are obsessed by the evil spirit of the Great Tribulation, lose their calmness and reason, and are destined to perish in this murderous catastrophe. There are not many of the former, and although there are many of the latter, most of those who come here are from the part of the dojo that is not far from here. Li Jingxiu glanced around and saw none of the loose cultivators such as Patriarch Zheng Kong, Little Man from Tiangan Mountain, Master Tianke, etc. Instead, the two elders of Songshan, the generous Master Yuxiu, the poor god Linghun, and Yi Zhou appeared around. In addition, Ruanju, Gan Biwu, Ding Chang, and others who were direct disciples of the Tianpeng Mountain sect were all here. The Kunlun sect also had Wei Xiaoxiao, the Wandering Dragon, and Master Tianke present. I didn't expect those two old ghosts to come too. Following Madame Lu's gaze, she saw a majestic-looking middle-aged man wearing a purple robe sitting cross-legged in the air, and behind him was a beautiful young woman. Not far from these two people, there was an old man wearing a blue robe, with white beard and hair, and a cold expression. The first two people are Qinangong of Luoshan Ridge in Heijia Mountain in Bihai, and his beloved concubine Shahanjian. The latter is one of the 6 monsters in the universe. He is as famous as Old Man Kuzu and Old Man Lu. Old Man Kangxiu, the founder of Taixuyuan in Qinghan Valley in Tiling Mountain, sits on Digi Mountain. There are not many people worthy of their attention in the world of cultivation nowadays, and Ice Phoenix Fairy Su Huang and Zun Sheng are two of them. It is not surprising that they are fighting with each other to see what happens. Old Man Kuzu continued, what I didn't expect was that the son of the Qing Emperor also came. Li Jingxiu also saw the giant green tree that was motionless in mid-air. Based on his experience, he was certainly no stranger to the blue spirit arc of the Green Emperor's son, the giant wood god. It is rumored that the son of the Azure Emperor has been hiding in the Wuwanding Mountains of the East China Sea since he was demoted to the Lingkong Immortal Realm. He almost never goes out. Back then, I only met him once when Chenmei Genren ascended. Later, I met him for the second time when the two factions of Chongshan and Yimei were fighting. This is the third time. Old Man Kuzu nodded. It seems that he is more concerned about the Chongshan lineage. Li Jingxiu nodded in agreement. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 685. After Li Jingxiu pondered for a moment, he suddenly said. You two fellow Taoists, Have you never thought about ascending to the spiritual world? Kuzu said, the immortal realm of spiritual sky is vast, and its aura is dozens of times that of the lower realm. No one would not want to go there to pursue a higher realm of cultivation. But we all know that unless you achieve the realm of true immortals, if you go to the spiritual realm as an earthly immortal, you will just be a slave in the immortal palace. Even if it only takes 3,000 years to be free, it is still not as good as being free in the lower world. Glancing at him, Kuzu said with envy, of course, fellow Taoist Li, you don't have to worry about this. With your cultivation as a true immortal, you can support a virtuous couple to ascend to the spiritual world of immortality together. Li Jingxiu smiled and nodded. With the cultivation of these two fellow Taoists, it will take at most 100 years for them to become true immortals. When the time comes, we will still have to watch and help each other in the Lingkong immortal realm to fight against all kinds of disasters. Even though they are the top powers in the Shushan world, everyone respects them. But in the world of Lingkong immortal, where there are countless strong people, the true immortals are only middle and high-level people, and the Wuluo Golden Immortal is the overlord of the world of Lingkong immortal. It's natural. Kuzu nodded in agreement. But based on Friends Taoist Li's friendship with the Chongshan lineage, they will definitely be able to protect one or two of them, much better than the two of me. There was a bit of envy in his tone. With the strength shown by Chongshan Academy, even if he comes to the Lingkong immortal world in the future, he is destined to be a big sect. With their blessing, Li Jingxiu can practice and improve steadily. With his qualifications, as long as he has enough spiritual energy and enough time, it is possible to become a mysterious immortal or even a golden immortal sooner or later. In contrast, Imei, which originally had high hopes, became shaky under the impact of Chongshan Academy. If there are no accidents, it won't be long before Imei's influence accumulated over thousands of years will be replaced by Chongshan Academy. However, because of Lu Nu, they had no friendship with the Chongshan lineage at all, and they even had festivals. Just as Li Jingxiu was about to speak, the words suddenly stopped on her lips. He turned his head suddenly, his pupils narrowed. I saw a Buddha light suddenly rising from the south. It was no bigger than a wash basin at first, but in an instant, it was like the sun rising in the east, occupying the entire sky. The Buddha's light, like the scorching sun, carries such powerful pressure that it is difficult to look directly at it. Accompanied by the rich scent of sandalwood, all the monks who were illuminated by the Buddha's light couldn't help but have the idea of converting to Buddhism. Crack! A sound like freezing ice resounded throughout the sky. A vast icy blue divine light filled the sky and occupied the northern sky. In an instant, the surrounding temperature dropped rapidly, and snowflakes were flying all over the sky, making people feel as if they were in a freezing cold weather. At the same time, it was as if a basin of cold water was poured down from everyone's heads. Let everyone who was originally addicted to the Buddha's light wake up instantly. Yishiu, Linghan, Ruanju, and others looked at the figure shrouded in the vast Buddha light and ice aura, with shock on their faces. Too strong. Stronger than expected. Although they are not true immortals, it is not like they have never seen powerful people of the true immortal level take action. But they have never seen true immortals like Zun Sheng and Ice Fairy, who can change the celestial phenomena with just their momentum. Namo Amitabha. The earth-shaking Buddha's name resounds thousands of miles away. At the same time, the sound of Buddhist chants filled the sky, covering the surrounding areas. Correspondingly, the phoenix roared up to the 9 heavens and soared into the sky from Su Wang's body. In an instant, there was an atmosphere of tranquility and joy, and all the sounds of the Buddha disappeared. Zun Sheng sat cross-legged on a golden lotus, with his hands in the fearless seal. He looked at the woman in white facing him from afar, with a hint of surprise in his eyes. He never expected that the opponent's strength would be so strong. Compared with her, he is not inferior at all. I'm just a second-generation disciple of Chongshan, how could it be possible? Although in recent years, he has also heard that the disciples of Chongshan sect have made great progress in cultivation. But he didn't take it to heart. Because anyone can quickly improve their cultivation level through elixirs. If there is a powerful natal spiritual treasure, even a natural disaster can be overcome. However, the magic power is easy to cultivate, but the realm is difficult to advance. Without enough realm, there will be no powerful supernatural powers. Therefore, he did not pay much attention to Su Wang's challenge. What really worried him was Su Junming, the true lord of Chongshan, who was hiding behind. However, after the previous battle of momentum, he discovered that although the ice fairy opposite him had a level lower than him, she was only at the level of a late true immortal. But his understanding of the ice path is extremely profound. He has definitely reached the level of Xianxian, and he can change the sky with just a few moves. Taking a deep breath, Zun Sheng's expression became solemn. Today's fight was not as easy as he imagined. Is the person opposite me the benefactor Su Huang? It's Pandeo. Are you Zen Master Zunshen? Amitabha is none other than Lao Monk. Donor Su, your sect has seized my Buddhist Mahavira's treasure house and captured the 3 monks Tianmeng, Beimei, and Kongchuo who guarded the treasure of my Buddhist section. Today I am guarding all of you, and I want to give Lao Monk an explanation. Haha, what a eloquent person. After Zen Master Dakshin ascended to heaven, he left a legacy. Those who are destined in the world can obtain the treasures he left behind. But there is no saying that they must be Buddhist disciples. And as we all know, Zen Master Mahavira entered Buddhism from Taoism. Fellow Buddhist and Taoist cultivator, when did all his treasures become your Buddhist belongings? Zen Master Zunshen is so greedy, but it goes against the 3 poisons of greed, anger, and ignorance in Buddhism. He should practice well, otherwise he will suffer from inner demons. Su Junming isolated himself with a space barrier, sat upright in the air, looked down at Su Huangfen Zunshen, and couldn't help but smile. When did this little girl have such a vicious mouth? Zun Sheng's face was gloomy. Amitabha, the benefactor keeps his word. Otherwise, such evil words can easily bring disaster to your section. That's right. It's precisely because of my words of virtue that I brought you this disaster and brought you this trouble. Not far away, Gan Biwu and Ding Chang shook their heads at the gate of Lingqiao Palace in Tianpeng Mountain. The biggest mistake Zen Master Zunshen made was to quarrel with women. Ding Chang smiled and nodded. Although women usually look shy and frail, when they are really in a hurry, they can be unforgiving with their mouths. That's right, why don't you call me a bitch? Ruanju agreed. But as soon as he finished speaking, he felt 4 dagger-like gazes shot at him instantly. Ruanju's heart skipped a beat, and he thought to himself, that's bad. He was so focused on having fun with his mouth that he forgot that his 2 junior sisters were also women. He turned his head and waved his hands repeatedly with a sneer on his face. Don't get me wrong, junior sisters, I'm not talking about you, absolutely not. Gan Biwu and Ding Chang, who knew the general situation well, snorted coldly and did not get angry here. Ruanju breathed a sigh of relief, secretly wiping cold sweat, and kept saying, it's so dangerous. At this time, Zun Sheng, who had practiced for thousands of years, had already changed his expression. Almsgiver Su has a vicious mouth, which is really in vain. Today, I will teach you how to respect your elders on behalf of true monarch Chongshan. Zun Sheng, is it just you? Nothing can stir up a person's anger more than contempt. Zun Sheng's expression turned cold, he whispered the Buddha's name and pressed his right palm. The vast Buddha's light instantly condensed into a 1,000-foot giant palm, and with an overwhelming force, it pressed directly towards Su Huang. Little tricks. Something moved in my heart. The ice-blue divine light behind him flashed in the air, and the giant palm of thousands of feet disappeared instantly. Zun Sheng was not surprised by this. Su Wang's lineage and the reputation of Bingso divine light have long been famous in the western border. Whether it's magical powers or magical weapons, there's nothing to miss. Unless you are stronger than it, it will be difficult to resist. Sun Sheng struck with both palms in the air, and the mighty Buddha's light turned into giant palms all over the sky, overwhelming the sky and pressing towards Su Huang. Su Huang looked indifferent and held up his hands. The ice soul divine light expanded rapidly, and the ice blue divine light showed a crushing force, expanding in all directions, occupying an area of thousands of feet in the blink of an eye. Seeing the powerful divine light, the crowd watching the battle quickly ran away from the outside like frightened rabbits, for fear of being harmed. Seeing the blue divine light rushing in like the Yangtze River, Sun Sheng looked solemn. Although he had known for a long time that this ice soul divine light was powerful, the power displayed in Su Huang's hands still shocked him. How do you develop such powerful magical powers? There was no time to ponder, because the divine light of Bingso had already arrived in front of him. You don't need to use your spiritual consciousness to feel the coldness that can freeze even your thoughts. With a solemn look on his face, Sun Sheng clasped his palms together. Amitabha. Along with the Buddha's name, a very simple body, 1 foot and 3 inches in diameter, completely black, with 6 groups of indescribable divine patterns engraved on its surface, slowly flew out from the top door of Zunshen. This piece of wood looks like it was carved from ebony. The texture is a bit rough and mottled, showing traces of time. Om, Ma, Ni, Ba, Mi, Hum. The 6-character Great Ming mantra came out. In an instant, the brilliant Buddha's light seemed to be shining in the sky, filling the sky with golden color. The all-powerful ice soul divine light was actually blocked by this Buddha light. Even under pressure, he kept retreating. Su Huang's expression changed slightly. The ultimate immortal weapon. The aura coming from the body is exactly the feeling that only the best immortal weapons can have. Moreover, it is also a top-quality immortal weapon that completes the 12 immortal forbidden realms. Her ice soul divine light contains the world of ice, and it is also her destiny treasure. Its power has no problem against high-grade immortal weapons, but it is powerless against top-grade immortal weapons. But it's not like I don't have the best immortal weapons. As his heart moved, a bright white light flew out from the top door. As soon as the mana was activated, it seemed as if he had changed his appearance, and instantly crossed 1,000 feet and arrived in front of Sun Sheng. The latter only felt a tyrannical killing aura, heading straight towards Tianling. With a sudden inspiration in his heart, he subconsciously moved the Maha above his head to block it in front of him. Boom! A loud noise. 1 light yellow, 1 silvery white, 2 rays of light clashed fiercely in mid-air. The powerful Buddha's light and sharp golden energy can clearly sense the astonishing pressure they convey even though they are thousands of feet away. Look at the body that explodes with astonishing power, and the Jinji that contains tyrannical and murderous intent. Everyone gasped. This was the first time they had seen such a powerful immortal weapon. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 686. So strong. Too strong. Countless thoughts of wonder arose from everyone's minds. Except for the giant tree god who came from the Lingkong immortal realm, almost no one in the entire Shushan world had ever seen such a fierce duel. The Buddha's light that stretches nearly 10,000 feet, and the sharp golden aura that is as strong as fire and rises into the sky. They all go beyond everyone's understanding of fighting skills. Su Wang's mind manipulated Fi Yunji. This top-quality fairy weapon that Su Junming had given to her for many years had been trained by her for a long time and could be moved according to her heart. Sun Sheng is much stronger than Sun Sheng, who obviously didn't have a lot of training just after he got it. However, the body's foundation is obviously stronger than that of Fi Yunji, and Sun Sheng's obviously stronger magic power makes it difficult to win it in a hurry. Fortunately, there is a new spiritual treasure given by Master. Something moved in my heart. The divine light of Bingso suddenly changed. The ice blue aura continued to condense, and in a flash, it transformed into a girl wearing an ice blue dress with an indifferent expression, who was very similar to Su Huang. 3 corpse spirits. Su Junming used the bronze mirror to gain enlightenment, which was born out of the top magical power of his 7 spirits Dharmakaya. Su Huang used the 3 tail feathers of his true phoenix body to develop 3 Dharma bodies. The strongest I Soul Dharmakaya, followed by Sunfen Dharmakaya and Kuishui Dharmakaya. Now Kuishui Dharmakaya is in the Chinese world, not only teaching his 3rd disciple Tangziken, but also contributing to the growth of the Chongshan sect. The Ice Dharmakaya and Sunfen Dharmakaya remained in the Shushan world. When it comes to magic power, the Dharmakaya achieved from the elemental world is still superior to the original body of Su Huang. Especially the ice body, its combat power is comparable to that of early Xianxian monks. His cold eyes were fixed on Zun Sheng, who was standing thousands of feet away with the Buddha's light shining brightly on his head. Spreading his right hand, an 8-story pagoda flew out. The pagoda seems to be made of white silk, with each layer emitting a different light. And the breadth of each layer is different. It's just that the light of this pagoda is too strong and there are many restrictions. Unless you have divine eyes, you can't see what kind of treasure it is. But Zun Sheng instinctively felt a strong sense of familiarity. Before he could think about it, a powerful 8-color divine light traveled through the sky and the earth and arrived in front of him in an instant. Zun Sheng was shocked. Not good. Busy urging the top of your head to do Maha? In an instant, the tyrannical divine light exploded out of thin air, and the dazzling light made even the surrounding immortals dare not look directly at it. Immediately afterwards, a deafening roar echoed through the mountains. Behind him, there was a fierce explosion of air, like a Category 12 hurricane, sweeping across the sky and the earth. All the monks within 3,000 feet who were less than an earth immortal were overturned by it. Even the earth immortal, unless he was a top person like De Wang Er Lao, was forced back step by the impact. Li Jingxiu looked shocked as he watched the self-defense gas mask vibrate endlessly under the tyrannical impact and persist for a long time. So strong. Looking at the scene again, Su Huang and Hanbing Dharma body looked as usual. As for Zun Sheng, his face was like gold paper, he was blown hundreds of feet away, and he finally stabilized his body. The aura around his body fluctuated, and he was obviously severely injured in the previous confrontation. Looking at the opponent with soaring aura from a distance, his face was full of disbelief. How is that possible? It's just an incarnation, how can it be stronger than the real person? If he only had 2 top-quality immortal weapons, even if he would lose, he wouldn't lose so miserably. That Dharma body, which was at least the Xianxian level, was the culprit that caused his inner abdomen to be injured and his body to be seriously injured. Zunchen, you lose. Su Huang said coldly. Zun Sheng's expression changed, he transferred his magic power, and after stabilizing the injuries in his body, he formed the fearless seal on his hands. Amitabha, Master Su Shi's high level of cultivation and powerful methods are admirable. However, even if I die here today, it will be difficult for you to seize the treasure house of my Buddhist master. There will be a dispute between the 2 factions. I hope that Donor Su can return my Buddhist treasure, release Tianmeng, Beimei, and Kongchuo, and return the 7 treasures golden pillar. After a pause, Zun Sheng's expression changed as he looked at the 8-layered pagoda held by the ice body. He finally understood why he felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity when he saw it. Is that the 7 treasures golden building? Su Huang said coldly, this is the 8 treasures demon suppressing tower given by my mentor. It has nothing to do with your Buddhist 7 treasures golden tower. Even so, this 8 treasures demon suppressing tower is indeed a top quality fairy weapon that Su Junming transformed from the 7 treasures golden building. All traces of Buddhism in it were erased by him. Even if anyone looks at it, this is a standard Taoist immortal weapon. Moreover, after training with his hands, This 8 treasures demon suppression tower is even more powerful than the original 7 treasures golden building. Impossible, this is definitely my Buddhist 7 treasures golden building. Whatever you say, today you slandered my honor and made rude remarks. I want to take you back to the mountain to be punished by my mentor. Zun Sheng's expression changed and he said sharply. Su Huang do you dare to trigger a war between my Buddhist sect and your Chongshan Academy? Humph, see if I dare. As for the battle between the two factions, you are not qualified. The Babao demon suppressing tower and Fi Yunji lit up again, and a powerful aura enveloped Zun Sheng. The latter's expression was ugly, his hands changed the seals, and instantly a ray of light shot straight into the sky like a sharp arrow. It exploded like fireworks. Don't hurt our master. Along with the loud voice, 7 lightning bolts of Buddha light flew over. As they came closer, 7 middle-aged people dressed in Taoist attire were revealed. They had different appearances, but they were all Buddhists. It's the 7th elder of Lishan. Someone soon recognized the origins of the 7 people. I have long heard that the 7 elders of Lishan became the sect of Zunchen. Now it seems that it is indeed true. Wenchinj, Zhu Yugong, Zhongzhe, Bai Ban, Yuzhong, Gui Danian, Yan Wang, 7 people have practiced for thousands of years, and each of them has the cultivation of an earthly immortal. Although he is not well known in the spiritual world, he is extremely famous among the older generation. In particular, the 7 of them are close friends with Ruanju, the warrior-wielding fairy boy, and Yuxiu, the god of Dafeng. As soon as the 7 people appeared, Ruanju and Yixiu's expressions instantly became anxious. With his cultivation level at the peak of Zunchen True Immortal, plus a top-grade immortal weapon, he couldn't stop the Ice Phoenix Fairy, let alone them. Both of them are loyal people, and they were about to persuade them to make peace. Before they could speak, their expressions changed and they stopped instantly. Everyone turned to look south. The once blue sky has turned into a golden color. This yellow color spreads for tens of thousands of miles, as if the whole world has changed color. Rich yellow clouds rolled in, and slowly, the rich fragrance of sandalwood came with the wind, followed by the Buddhist chants that grew from weak to strong, and finally sounded like thunder. The monk who had not cultivated to the level of Yuan Shen fell to his knees in just a moment, clasped his hands together, looked pious, and made a gesture of refuge, and a faint Buddha light bloomed from his body. Soon, the Yuan Shen monk could no longer bear it. Only those who have become immortals can rely on their own magic power to protect their whole body from being transformed by the Buddha's sound. Soon, amidst the heavy sounds of Buddha and all kinds of Buddha's light, an old monk with his bare right arm and feet, wearing a dark red robe, big ears and shoulders, an old face, and an obviously exotic appearance, sat cross-legged on a golden lotus. Appear in the eyes of everyone. Immediately afterwards, the second, third, and even more old monks dressed similarly but with different auras appeared in front of everyone. The old monk is followed by the middle-aged monk, and the middle-aged monk is followed by the young monk. In just a moment, hundreds of thousands of monks filled the southern sky. The rich Buddha light merged into one piece, and the vast Buddha sound shook the sky. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 687. The appearance of so many Buddhist practitioners at the same time shocked everyone present. Moreover, judging from their dress and their appearance, which are obviously different from those of the Central Plains people, they obviously come from outside the region. Tianzi people. Instantly someone recognized their identities. A large number of monks came to Tianshan. The leader, an old monk sitting cross-legged on a golden lotus, stretched out his hand and made a move to conquer the simple flower above his head. It flew into his hand instantly like a baby swallow falling into the forest. The former's expression changed slightly, but he still urged the flying light to fly to the old monk's seat, and said respectfully, "Your Majesty, see Master Amir." She lowered her eyes slightly and glanced at him. It seems you failed. Disciple is ashamed. The enemy is stronger than originally expected. Amir nodded. Take your disciples and stand in the back. Although Zun Sheng is unwilling, the situation is stronger than the other person's, and the opponent's strength and power far exceed his own. After sighing inwardly, he led the 7 elders of Lishan, or the 7 monks of Lishan, to the group of monks at the back. Perhaps knowing that he was not very popular, he directly stood in a relatively marginal position. However, with his cultivation at the peak of the true immortal realm and the 7 disciples at the Arhat realm, even if he was on the edge, he still held a relatively central position among the monks. After looking around at everyone, Amitabha, the old monk, is Amir, the abbot of Landa Temple in Tianzhu. Under the guidance of my Buddha, I came here to capture the demons of Chongshan Academy who desecrated my Buddhism and took away my Buddhist treasures. The spoken Chinese is spoken with smooth accents and can be understood by everyone present. The dispute between Zun Sheng and Chongshan disciple Su Daiyu is an internal matter within our Central Plains China practice community. As a native of Tianzhu, Master is not qualified to participate in it. Li Jingxiu said loudly. The donor is wrong. Buddhism in the world is one family, not to mention that the Eastern Buddhism is also a branch of our Tianzhu Buddhism. Now that the Eastern Buddhism is in trouble, the poor monk, as the master of Landa Temple and the spokesperson of Buddhism in the world, should help. Amir smiled. Master's cultivation has reached the level of Sichuohan Arhat. If he is here to help with the boxing, only one person is enough. Why bother to mobilize a large number of people, said the old man Kazu. Amitabha, the old monk, heard that Chongshan Academy dominates the eastern and northern territories and has hundreds of thousands of disciples. If you want to wipe out this evil sect, of course you must bring more disciples. As soon as these words came out, everyone present changed their expressions. No one is stupid. After listening to Amir's words, it became clear that the other party was taking advantage of the opportunity of cleaning up Chongshan Academy to spread its influence deep into the eastern Central Plains. As everyone made eye contact, a sense of common hatred gradually solidified. Although everyone has conflicts and feuds with each other, they are all Central Plains monks after all. Behind closed doors, it doesn't matter how your own people beat you. The only thing he doesn't want is for outsiders to come in and share the energy of the Central Plains China. Zun Sheng, it's useless for me to respect you as a Buddhist senior. I didn't expect that you would collude with Tianzhu and be willing to be a weak dog and lead thieves into the bandit, Su Huang said coldly. Zun Sheng's expression changed drastically. At first, he went to Tianzhu to ask for help, just to find 1 or 2 masters to help fight against Chongshan Academy. Unexpectedly, Landa Temple's ambition was much stronger than he imagined. Although Amir gave him the Maharaja, the treasure of the Landa Temple, to help him pacify the Sulian Valley lineage under the Chongshan Gate, in return, Zunshen also wanted to help the Landa Temple march into the Middle Kingdom and expand the sect. Zun Sheng agreed after a brief consideration. Compared with Chongshan Academy, he certainly hopes that Landa Temple, which also belongs to Buddhism, will benefit. As for the identity dispute between China and Tianzhu, after practicing for thousands of years and watching the changes in the world, he has long forgotten his identity. Now he is a distinguished figure in Buddhism. Zen Master Zunshen is also his only title now. Amitabha, our Buddhist sect has always been compassionate and saves all living beings. Landa Temple is also part of my Buddhist sect, and we have never been different from each other. And although your Chongshan Academy is called the righteous way, it has filled the fields with killings, and the eastern land has been suffering for a long time. Now that Master Amir has come to the east, it is not because of the old monk's merits, but because he is inspired by the thoughts and sincerity of all sentient beings in the East to eliminate the poison of your evil cult in the mountains and give thousands of people a new life of peace and joy. Zen Master Zunshen said calmly. No matter how much your tongue blooms, You can't get rid of the reputation of attracting wolves into the house, Su Huang said coldly. The witch deserves to be killed. Amir finished speaking coldly, stretched out his hand, and the mighty Buddha's light rose into the sky. The Mahaphalan, which was originally in the hands of Zen master Zunchen, was only as powerful as an ordinary top-grade immortal weapon. Suddenly, it burst out with divine power several times stronger. With a majestic momentum, it was as fast as lightning, and it hit Su Huang directly. The Ice Dharma body has a mighty aura, and the 8 treasures demon-suppressing tower in its hand is as powerful as the sky. The former 7 treasures golden building was made from 4 top-grade immortal artifacts, 3 top-grade immortal artifacts, and 1 top-grade Buddha relic. Su Junming spent 3 months taking the 4 top-grade immortal weapons one step further and becoming the top-grade immortal weapons with 10 or 11 restrictions. And the 3 top-quality immortal weapons were also completed. The Buddha's relic has become the strongest of the 8 immortal artifacts. It has the foundation to survive the catastrophe and become an immortal treasure. Finally, the Bagua array used to exert the power of the 8 immortal weapons was re-rehearsed by Su Junming in conjunction with the prohibitions in the cornucopia. It can not only exert the full power of the 8 immortal weapons, but also have the magical effect of gathering spiritual energy and conceiving magic weapons. Although it has not survived the catastrophe, the power of the 8 treasures demon suppression tower is no worse than that of ordinary low-grade immortal treasures. However, this time, the 8 treasures demonic suppression tower has not yet shown its power. A brilliant azure divine light fell from the sky, as if the sun was shining brightly. The extremely rich aura of space fills the sky. In an instant, the pale yellow ancient magic lune was already submerged in the divine light. Wait until everything calms down. The clouds and rain dispersed all over the place, and the sea and the river were clear. There was no trace of the divine light or mana fluctuations of the spiritual treasures. It almost made people suspect that what they had seen before was just like a dream. Of course it was not a dream, everyone subconsciously looked up. Thousands of feet above, there is a person wearing a green robe, a gold rope tied around his waist, a palm-sized green gourd hanging on the left side, dormant shoes on his feet, a mane of black hair, tied back with a gold ring at will. He is tall and imposing. A majestic figure appeared in mid-air. True Lord Chongshan Su Junming. The exclamation from unknown sources revealed the identity of the other party. At the same time, his appearance instantly relaxed the tense atmosphere at the scene. Li Jingxiu, the 2 elders of Dawang, the cultivators of Tianpeng Mountain, Yixiu, Linghun, and others all felt inexplicably more confident. Amir looked at the other party solemnly, especially the 3-foot-long bronze mirror above the other party's head, which was full of azure divine light. Just now, the other party used this treasure and took away his Mahadharma will in one face-to-face encounter. Amitabha, the benefactor is Su Junming, the dean of Chongshan Academy, the true lord of Chongshan. Amir spoke. Smile lightly. I am the big devil you call Su Junming. Amir's face changed slightly. Although he could not see through the other party's cultivation level, he knew from the strength he showed when he took away his Mahadharma lune that the other party's cultivation level was higher than his own. But he still has a backup plan. Donor Su's disciples behave erratically, kill without restraint, and are possessed by evil spirits. For the sake of the benefactor, I also ask you to dissolve Chongshan Academy and enter my Landa temple to practice Buddhism. Ha ha ha. After laughing full of mockery, I don't know where you got so much confidence. If it's these chickens and dogs behind you, then I'll clean them up for you first. Pan Tuo Divine Palm. Turn your right hand and press down. There was a boom. In an instant, it seemed as if the whole world had turned upside down. The dazzling sunshine and the clear blue sky disappeared in an instant. The entire sky became pitch black. At the same time, there was a pressure as heavy as an ancient giant mountain, which was almost difficult to resist. Everyone changes color. Amir's expression changed drastically. In an instant, a large golden tree with lush branches and leaves soared into the sky from above. In an instant, it turned into a giant of thousands of feet. The huge tree sheds endless golden light and fills the sky with the fragrance of sandalwood. The sky-covering giant palm that was pressing down rapidly above his head was slowed down by it. Quickly deploy the Vajramandala formation. Amir shouted. Low-grade innate spiritual root Bodhi tree? No wonder it has such power. It's a pity that your cultivation is too poor. The majestic voice was loud in the sky. Suddenly, a huge divine pattern appeared above the giant palm. Immediately afterwards, a dazzling silver-white divine light fell down. Regardless of whether it is a Buddha, a monk, or anything else, anyone who is illuminated by it will instantly seem to be frozen, making it difficult to move again. A powerful but obviously somewhat incomplete formation, with the Bodhi tree in the middle as the center of the formation, combined with the strength of thousands of people, resisted the giant palm pressing down above its head. The vast Buddhist chants resounded across the sky, and the dazzling golden Buddha light competed with the giant hands holding the sky. Amir breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the pressing palm stop. But the fact that there were tens of thousands of disciples when he came, and now there are only more than 10,000 disciples left, still made his heart bleed and hurt terribly. This is the foundation accumulated by the Landa temple for thousands of years, and it is their confidence and strength to transform the world of Shushan into a pure land of Buddhism. As a result, as soon as they started, before they could taste the fruits of victory, they were slapped to pieces by others, and almost all of them died. He looked up at the giant palm that covered the sky and the sun. After struggling in his heart for a while, his expression gradually became firm. Then he said loudly, "True Lord Chongshan, our Landa temple has no enmity with your Chongshan Academy. What we did before was because the old monk was deceived by Zun Sheng. I hope that the true Lord will be magnanimous, open up a wide margin and allow me to leave. The old monk promises that from now on, we, fellow practitioners in Landa Temple and Chongshan Academy, will be on good terms and will never conflict with each other again." Zun Sheng's face instantly turned as dark as the bottom of a pot. He never expected that Amir, the leader of a sect, would be so shameless. As soon as I saw something was wrong, I sold him in a blink of an eye. Haha, Zun Sheng, is this the ally you are looking for? He is unjust for profit, as cowardly as a mouse, and despicable. If this person can also occupy our Middle-earth divine state, it will be really ridiculous. Landuo Temple must be destroyed. Accompanied by a thunderous and majestic voice, the giant palm holding the sky suddenly erupted, and the masculine energy and blood were hotter than the underground fire. At the same time, the infinite force pressed down suddenly. The Vajramandala formation collapsed instantly. The Bodhi tree as the formation's eye flashed twice and then fell instantly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 688. Chapter 670, Hundreds of millions of miles of divine light shine, and the world of Chongshan advances again. The dark sky became bright again, and the blue sky, white clouds, and undulating snow-capped mountains came into view again. But the hundreds of thousands of monks from Landa Temple who once occupied thousands of miles of blue sky in the south and covered the sky with Buddha's light and clouds have disappeared. The huge change made it difficult for everyone present to recover. After a long time, Taoist Kuzu sighed, "Now I believe that the demon ancestor of Taicheng Mountain and the 100,000 demon cultivators must have been captured or killed by true monarch Chongshan." Li Jingxiu nodded in agreement. The hundreds of thousands of Buddhist cultivators in Landa Temple just now are no less inferior in quantity or quality than the demonic cultivators gathered in Taicheng Mountain. But under the divine palm that covered the sky and the sun, he didn't even have a chance to resist and was easily crushed. With the example of Landa Temple in the past, it is not difficult to guess the story of Taichung Mountain. The strength of Chongshan True Lord Su Junming is unbelievably powerful. Yuxiu sighed heavily. Ling Han glanced at him. What, you regret it? Yuxiu, who is bold and heroic by nature, did not hide it. I do have some regrets. More than 40 years ago, Su Junming, the true lord of Chongshan, preached to the world in Chang'an. Later, at the request of everyone, he set up the human soul gate to test everyone and recruit disciples. He is also one of the few people who has passed the earth level test. As a result, he had the supreme immortal biography and refused. Among all the people, only Miao Chufang, the holy mother of red flowers, became a disciple. Now 40 years have passed. He was in the middle stage of Earth Immortal at that time. He is still in the middle stage of Earth Immortal, but he is just approaching a breakthrough. Ye Ben from Admiralty Island and Xieshan from Wuyi Mountain have only just become earthly immortals. At that time, the cultivation level was lower than all of them, only the Red Flower Virgin in the late stage of Yuan Shen, but 40 years later, she achieved great power in the realm of true immortals. And compared to the few lonely ghosts like them, Miao Chufang has the increasingly powerful Chongshan Academy on her back, so she doesn't need to worry even if a disaster is imminent. Everything is afraid of comparison. Look at yourself now, and then think about the disciples under Chongshan sect who have advanced by leaps and bounds, and even many third-generation disciples who were originally below you in cultivation have surpassed you. Su Huang even reached the point where he could defeat Zun Sheng. How could Yuxiu not regret it in his heart? If I had become a disciple back then, even if I was a third-generation disciple, I should be like her now. Yixiu thought to himself as he looked at the beautiful figure surrounded by ice energy and powerful magic in mid-air. Well, brother, why are you sighing? Gan Biwu said. Senior brother and Qi Shuming, the head of the Imei sect, have been friends for 3 generations. Now that we see that Chongshan Academy is so amazingly powerful and Imei is competing with it, no matter how difficult it is to win, we will certainly sigh, Ding Chang said. Ruanju glanced at her and sighed. 7th junior sister is very thoughtful and can see through my lies at a glance. Looking at the strength Su Zhenjun showed today, let alone the current Imei, even the Chenmei master is destined to be difficult to turn over. The identity of the protagonist of Imei killing and robbery has been completely replaced. Since the secret of heaven has been revealed, it has been known all over the world that there will never be a great prosperity in Imei. In fact, I suspect that the reason why the secret of heaven is so chaotic is probably related to Chongshan Academy, otherwise the timing cannot be such a coincidence, Ding Chang said. Ruanju and Gan Biwu looked thoughtful on their faces. After a while, the former shook his head. Now that the overall situation has been decided, it is meaningless what the truth is. After the war ended, the host was unable to entertain the guests, so everyone left in 2s and 3s. However, the aftermath of this war profoundly changed the world of spiritual practice. From this moment on, people's hearts no longer belong to Imei. As for Buddhism, because of Zun Sheng's behavior of luring the wolf into the house, its prestige plummeted, and it withdrew from the competition for luck in the spiritual world. King Xinziazu in Suolianyu. Su Junming sat in the center, followed by Su Huang and her disciples. With a casual wave of his hand, several streams of light flew into the hands of Fu Qingfeng and the others. These treasures have been carefully trained by me, and I will give them to you today. Fu Qingfeng looked at the demon binding lock. This treasure obtained from Daxing's treasury was originally a spiritual treasure, not even an immortal weapon. Now it is not only an advanced immortal weapon, but also a top-grade immortal weapon of the 9 immortals. Obviously, this demon binding lock was not only retrained by the master, but also added a lot of top-notch materials. Not only him, but also the magic weapons obtained by Fu Yueqi, Dengbaguo, and others from Daxiang's treasury were further improved after Su Junming retrained them. Thanks to the 100,000 demon cultivators who contributed a lot of materials and the treasures in Daxiang's treasury, otherwise it would be difficult for him to refine 8 high-grade immortal weapons at once. "Why don't you thank the patriarch quickly?" Su Huang said. The disciples came to their senses and thanked him with joy. After waving them to get up, his eyes changed. "Little Huang the disciple is here. Take your disciples to Landa Temple, capture all the Buddhist cultivators, and cut off its lineage." Yes. What Su Junming hates most is the Buddhist teaching of past life, present life, reincarnation. Let people be content with the status quo, lose the desire to resist, worship the Buddha with their hard-earned money, and hope to be reincarnated into a wealthy family in the next life. How wrong it is! If such teachings spread, the whole world will suffer. Su Huang understood his master's character, so he respectfully agreed. With a slap on the gourd on his waist, more than a dozen spiritual talismans flew into everyone's hands. These talismans contain my Pantuo divine palm. When encountering danger that is difficult to resist, I will sacrifice it. Thank you, Master, Master. After Su Junming nodded slightly, his figure gradually blurred and disappeared. The essence of Landa Temple was captured by him, and the rest was nothing to worry about. With Su Wang's magical power, coupled with Fu Qingfeng, Fu Yueqi, Dengbaguo, Zhou Feng, and others, they are enough to sweep Landuo Temple and even the entire Tianzhu. Arriving outside the Tianshan Mountains, he activated the Celestial Elephant Gate and came to the desolate planet thousands of miles away from Chixian Shenzhou. Tai Zhenjun has left. Su Junming didn't pay much attention. That fat man is probably sitting in Shuzhong. With him here, plus the Dragon Emperor, it is enough to deal with one Ime. With a finger, the teleportation array in the valley rippled with infinite aura. The aura accumulated for many years opened the cross-border teleportation array. Su Junming took one step forward, and his whole body disappeared in a black hole-like space channel in an instant. After a few moments, his eyes lit up, and a vast world appeared in front of him. Magnificent mountains and rivers extend to the ends of heaven and earth. The blue ocean is like a mirror, reflecting the 9 heavens. The rich spiritual energy fills the sky for hundreds of millions of miles. A tall figure with a majestic aura suddenly appeared next to him. "How about it? I will live up to your Zhulang clan's head." Su Junming nodded slowly. "Is it time to overcome the tribulation? The core area has reached 99.99 million miles, and the attached 3,000 small thousand worlds have all been advanced. As long as the last mile is added, you can go through the tribulation." Ao Tian waved his hand. A vast star field appeared in front of him. In the middle is a powerful world with a round sky and a diameter of nearly 100 million miles. Surrounding this world is an infinite starry sky with a diameter of hundreds of millions of miles. There are 3,000 sub-galaxies in the starry sky. In each galaxy, there is a blue planet with a diameter of more than 120,000 miles. Obviously, these blue planets are all small worlds. Originally, when the small thousand world advanced to the middle thousand world, the main world advanced first, and then 3,000 small thousand worlds were created. This is a complete world system. But in the advancement of Chongshan world, Ao Tian went in the opposite direction and created 3,000 small thousand worlds first. The reason for doing this is to increase the foundation of Chongshan world and enhance its chances of surviving the catastrophe. Of course, Su Junming only had the resources to transform Zhulong's head into such a luxury. Su Junming spread his palms, and countless streams of light flew towards the emperor's pagoda outside the world of Chongshan. These were the Buddhist cultivators of Landuo Temple that he captured. The number of hundreds of thousands is a considerable force, enough to increase the speed of the Emperor Tower in converting acquired chaotic energy. Now that you're ready, let's get started. After Aotian nodded, he stretched out his hand and the Emperor's tower, which was thousands of feet long, bloomed with hundreds of millions of light. Accompanied by a thunderous sound, it had been prepared for a long time. The rich spiritual energy stored in the Emperor's tower was swaying down like a tide. Driven by a huge amount of spiritual energy, the world of mountains stretching 9,990 miles expanded again. Wait until the last mile to make up for it. Beyond the world of mountains hundreds of billions of miles away, the sky is filled with tribulation energy. Compared with the monk's catastrophe, the scale of the world's catastrophe is simply not on the same level. The vast clouds of calamity that stretched hundreds of millions of miles contained an aura of destruction that frightened even Su Junming. Even thousands of golden immortals combined could not stop such a level of thunder tribulation. The rest is up to you. In front of thunder like this, Su Junming can't do much to help. Give me your cocks yin and yang. Ao Tian nodded and said. Su Junming waved his hand, and the black and white millstone flew into Ao Tian's hand. The latter held the millstone in his hand and disappeared instantly. In an instant, outside the world of Chongshan, a huge millstone stretching millions of miles across appeared. Accompanied by the vast black and white divine light, the hard stone millstone slowly rotated. Millions of stars and rivers accompany each other, and billions of divine radiances accompany each other. It's like a scene where two worlds, black and white, intersect, are grand and magnificent. Even though he was hundreds of millions of miles away, Su Junming could clearly sense the power of the millstones spreading out. This is the power that the 24 restrictions, the top middle grade innate spiritual treasure, should have. Su Junming was amazed in his heart. Ao Tian used the power of the world to activate the great grinding of yin and yang, completely allowing this treasure to unleash its full power. Boom! Accompanied by the loud noise, Su Junming's eyes turned blue and white. The vast thunder of hundreds of thousands of miles, like a giant knife, struck straight towards the center of Chongshan world. Before it could completely fall, it was already pinched by the yin and yang divine light of the yin and yang great mill, as if it were eating noodles, being swallowed by the white fish eyes of the black millstone. The black and white millstone, which was even bigger than the small thousand world, rotated only 3 times back and forth. The extremely rich thunder energy flowed into the Chongshan world from the black fish eyes of the white millstone underneath. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 689. After the thunder tribulation, the wind tribulation will follow. After the wind tribulation is the great tribulation of the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. After 8 consecutive heavenly tribulations, all the brains were ground by the yin and yang great mill, turning into the material for the growth of the Chongshan world. Yin-Yang's actions seemed to anger the heavenly tribulation, and the second wave was even more tyrannical, with 1,000,000 miles of calamity thunder crashing down. Like a black and white world, the yin and yang great mill stretches across the void, like a huge black and white shield. No matter how violent the thunder is, it cannot be shaken. Just like the first tribulation thunder, the second tribulation thunder was swallowed by the yin and yang mill just like eating noodles. But it can be clearly seen that the swallowing of the yin and yang great mill is much more difficult than the first round of the heavenly tribulation. But fortunately, I can still do the job. One after another wind and thunder tribulations and 5 elemental tribulations have passed, and after the 5th round of heavenly tribulation, it will be difficult to persist in the great grinding of yin and yang. In order not to damage this top-notch innate spiritual treasure with 24 innate divine prohibitions, Ao Tian withdrew the treasure. With a finger, the central Shenzhou, the center of Chongshan world, which has expanded to a diameter of nearly 20 million miles, instantly rose up to a huge tower millions of feet high. At the same time, based on this giant tower, a large formation stretching across the entire central China was born from nowhere. Chaos covering the sky. This was the formation set up by Su Junming when Chongshan world advanced from cave heaven to small thousand world. As the world of Chongshan grew stronger and Su Junming's formation level improved, he continued to repair and improve it, becoming more powerful. Coupled with the confidence and spiritual power of the entire central China world, the entire formation exudes an unshakable richness and stability. Boom! The sixth thunder calamity fell. The thunder catastrophe that has reached thousands of miles is like a thunder rain that stretches across the entire sky. In an instant, half of central China was enveloped in thunder. This is a picture that is absolutely beyond ordinary people's imagination. Thunder and rainfall within tens of millions of miles, fire trees and silver flowers within 30 million miles, and the whole world is blue and white. The isolation aura formed by the chaos sky covering formation is churning violently. Although it only seems to be a thin layer, its toughness is beyond imagination. No matter how violent the thunder is, it is still difficult to die. Although it was only a few moments, it seemed as if a century had finally passed. The exhausted thunder turned into scattered thunder flowers, and gradually turned into vitality and dissipated in the air. It has withstood the most violent thunder, the subsequent wind tribulation, and the 5-element tribulations of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Although it is powerful, it can no longer shake the power of the chaos sky covering formation. After nearly half an hour, the sixth heavenly tribulation finally passed. There is no doubt that the seventh heavenly tribulation will be more difficult. A chaos sky covering formation alone is obviously not enough. However, Chongshan world certainly has more than one grand formation. Under Ao Tian's urging, 4 altars rose into the sky on 4 continents tens of thousands of miles away, including central China, Yanzhou in the east, Yangzhou in the west, Suzhou in the south, and Jizhou in the north. This altar is made entirely of bluestone and is very simple. It covers an area of hundreds of thousands of miles. A vast divine light soars into the sky from the center of the altar. The 4 altars are like 4 giant pillars, supporting a huge array that covers the 4 major states. 4 elephants cutting heaven formation. This is a defensive formation based on the 4-elephant sword formation. Of course, if Ao Tian wanted to, he could also change it to the 4-elephant sword formation. Soon, under his control, the 2 large formations joined together tightly and turned into a 4-elephant formation of chaos that stretched across 5 continents and was dozens of times more powerful. The moment the formation was formed, the 7th thunder calamity struck down. The scene that I had seen before appeared again, but this time the scale was larger and more astonishing. The Emperor's Tower in the center of the world continuously sprays out the spiritual energy previously stored. Coupled with the wind and thunder and the 5 elements of spiritual energy left after the heavenly tribulation was eliminated, the entire Chongshan world is still expanding, so the power of the entire formation is also growing stronger. After resisting the 7th thunderstorm, more peripherally, 8 giant tripods rise into the sky from Qingzhou in the east, Yangzhou in the southeast, Jingzhou in the south, Yizhou in the southwest, Liangzhou in the southwest, Bingzhou in the northwest, Yuzhou in Kenbei, and Liaozhou in the northeast. Innate Bagua Array. It is also the 3rd-level formation prepared by Su Junming in Chongshan world. The 3 formations of chaos covering the sky, 4 elephants cutting the sky, and Xiantian Bagua merged into one, turning into the chaos cutting heaven and Bagua formation. At this time, the scale of the 8th tribulation thunder has reached an astonishing 30 million miles. More than a quarter of the core area of Chongshan world is covered by it. The vast thunder catastrophe is like an ocean, with surging clouds and tides. The tyrannical thunder, the blazing fire that fills the sky, the dark wind that tears the sky and the earth apart, the sharp golden swords and iron knives, the poisonous water that rots the soul and bones, turns the whole world into rotten wood with flying ash, and makes the land of China sink under the boundless pressure. One after another, endless. Layer upon layer, stack upon stack, thousands of miles vast. The long wait is finally over. Looking at the still intact formation, Su Junming breathed a sigh of relief. The last great catastrophe. Suddenly the sky and the earth were eclipsed. There are 365 huge giant stars with diameters of more than 10 million miles appearing in the blue sky. Among them, the Sun, lunar moon and purple stars are the most huge, with diameters of more than 30 million miles. 365 planets, echoing each other from afar. With the Sun, Taoyin, and Ziwei Sangzing as the formation eyes, a huge and powerful formation was constructed, covering hundreds of millions of miles and surrounding the core of the entire Chongshan world. Weekly formation. This is the most complex formation that Su Junming understood with the help of a bronze mirror. It is still far away from the legendary Zhoutian star formation, but its tyrannical power cannot be denied. The four formations of chaos covering the sky, four elephants cutting the sky, innate Bagua and Great Zhoutian formation are combined into one to form the ultimate world-protecting formation of Chongshan world. Great Chaos Zhoutian Star Array. The entire world of Chongshan is shrouded in it. The already tyrannical crystal wall has been improved by more than 10 times with the blessing of this tyrannical formation. The moment the formation was formed, the ninth thunder struck down. In an instant, the entire starry sky turned into a sea of thunder. The dazzling blue-white light shrouded hundreds of millions of miles. The dark universe seemed to have changed color. At this moment, Su Junming truly understood what world development means. That vast scene, that tyrannical thunder that penetrated into his soul, was tyrannical that he had never experienced before. At this moment, time and space seemed to have lost their color. There is only thunder left in the world. That arc of lightning that jumped as fast as an elf. Beautiful, weird. And it comes with great danger. I don't know how long it took, maybe a century, maybe it spanned the long river of time, as if the heaven and the earth had decayed, before Su Junming finally heard a hint of spiritual sound in his ears. Before he could recover, there was a sound of howling ghosts and wolves in the sky and the earth. As if a trumpet sounded from the deepest part of hell, the dark wind filled the sky, rolling in with overwhelming power that destroyed everything. They tear everything apart and destroy everything, like violent evil spirits, wanting to vent their cruelty to their heart's content. However, the protective shield formed by the large formation is like the toughest thing in the world. No matter how raging the hurricane is, it can never get past the thunder. Just as the gloomy wind passed, a golden red fire filled the sky. In an instant, it seemed as if the entire universe was on fire. Even with the protection of the large formation, even though he was tens of millions of miles away, Su Junming could still clearly feel the heat in the fire, melting gold and turning iron, burning mountains and boiling seas. Seeing that they could not burn through the formation, a silvery white light suddenly filled the sky. Immediately afterwards, golden knives, iron swords, spears, and powerful axes all over the sky came down overwhelmingly. The sharp golden energy tried its best to tear apart the formation, but in the end it was just like the three tribulations of thunder, wind, and fire, and was powerless. After the golden tribulation comes the wooden tribulation. Compared with the sharpness of the wind tribulation and the explosion of the fire tribulation, the wood tribulation is the silent infection of moistening things. The dark green wood gas is like a thick layer of smoke, shrouding the periphery of the entire world. They are silent but the most deadly. Everything that comes into contact with it turns into rotten wood. If there is no protection from the formation and Chongshan world does not have enough foundation, then the entire world will be destroyed by it. Fortunately, Su Junming's earlier preparations were not in vain. Muji finally came back defeated in front of the Great Chaos Zhoutian Star Array. Before Aotian and Su Junming could take a breath, overwhelming rain poured down from the sky. Su Junming seemed to hear the corrosive sound that made his scalp numb and his heart chilled after they touched the formation. Even a drop of this calamity water, which is more poisonous and corrosive than weak water, can kill an earth immortal who has practiced for thousands of years. At this moment, the vast sea of poisonous water, in addition to the world in front of us, would probably require monks of the legendary Tai and Delugo levels to contend. Seeing the formation's cover, being corroded by the poisonous water, becoming thinner and thinner layer by layer, Su Junming also secretly felt worried. Fortunately, Ao Tian used Zhu Long's head to suppress the formation and was fully prepared. Finally, when 1/3 of the formation's protection was left, the moment of victory came. But after the water disaster, there is another earth disaster. Ao Tian and Su Junming still dare not relax. He quickly mobilized the power of the world and the reserved spiritual energy to restore the formation. Seeing that the tough protective shield had just been restored, the earth-yellow aura filled the sky, like a sandstorm that had never been seen in thousands of years in the desert, overwhelming the sky and covering the entire mountainous world in an instant. Immediately afterwards, an indescribable pressure fell from the sky. At this moment, Su Junming seemed to hear the sound of a large array of protective shields making people's teeth crack. The increasingly heavy pressure was like an increasingly heavy stone, pressing tightly on Su Junming's heart, making him uncomfortable, swallowing painfully, and his whole body was enveloped by an indescribable pressure. When he advanced to Xianxian, he had experienced the earth tribulation, but at that moment, he definitely didn't feel the same as he does now. Perhaps, it is Ao Tian who controls the advancement of the world, not him. The lack of factual basis and control of details made him lack some confidence to successfully overcome the tribulation. Fortunately, his worries did not come true. As the cocky aura in the sky gradually dissipated, the feeling of depression that pervaded my heart also gradually receded. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 690. After the 9th wind, thunder tribulation, and 5 elements tribulation have passed, the catastrophe of thousands of worlds in the Chongshan world is not over yet. As the way of heaven in the world of Chongshan, Ao Tian is not an unconscious existence, but a living being. Since they are sentient beings, they need to go through the inner demon tribulation to advance. If you can pass it, you will be reborn; if you cannot pass it, you will be destroyed. But with the bronze mirror around, Su Junming was least worried about the calamity of inner demons. Seeing the strange demonic cloud quickly covering Ao Tian, who fell into silence, Su Junming activated the human soul divine sect to summon the direct disciples of Chongshan who stayed in the 3 realms of Shushan, Chongshan, and Huaxia. Not long ago, Renwuji, Longdi, and Tai were 3 first-generation disciples. Qinzhong, Lin Zhengying, Qiao Shaoxin, Yan Chixia, Su Huang, Zuch Wolong, Chen Lin, Miao Chufang, Shang Taijin, and Pan now are 10 second-generation disciples. As well as 43 direct third-generation disciples, including Zuch Liuyuan, Fu Qingfeng, Gongsun Juniang, and Yetian Yuan, appeared around one after another. It is worth mentioning that the Chongshan lineage finally has its first 4th-generation disciple. Qiu Yuan. After the Rongcheng upper court of Chongshan Academy was built, he was the first disciple to pass the earth-level test of the human soul divine sect, and was also the first disciple of Zuch Wolong's great disciple Gu Hong. Everyone was summoned by the ancestor, saw the vast world in front of them, felt the residual power of the disaster in the sky, and instantly understood. A look of joy appeared on his face. Chongshan world has successfully survived the catastrophe and advanced to the middle thousand world, which means that the foundation of its sect has become hundreds of times thicker. As a Chongshan disciple, of course you should be happy. The last level of demonic calamity will soon pass, and the world of Chongshan will usher in another advancement. At that time, the secret of heaven will be revealed, and the Tao will be clear. You must seize this opportunity, supplemented by the bronze mirror, to understand the mysteries of Taoism, and you will surely have great achievements. Reward. Disciple, obey. Everyone responded loudly, with eager expressions on their faces. After Su Junming nodded, he stopped talking and sat cross-legged in the air, quietly waiting for Aotian to break free from the inner demon. About 3 minutes later, the demonic energy that enveloped Aotian finally dissipated. Haha, you can survive through all kinds of adversities, and now you have achieved great success. Accompanied by Aotian's excited voice, vast and unprecedented spiritual energy of creation fell from the sky across thousands of miles. After absorbing this spiritual energy, the entire world of Chongshan seemed to have taken a powerful tonic pill and grew rapidly. At the same time, the legal net appeared in the sky, and all kinds of truths were clearer than ever. Whether it is the first-generation disciples such as Su Junming and Renwuji, or the surrounding second-, third-, or fourth-generation disciples, as well as every spiritual being who practices in Chongshan world, they all subconsciously begin to understand the blessings of heaven and earth when the world is promoted. With the help of the bronze mirror, Su Junming understood the Space Dao, Soul Dao, Tiangong Dao, Martial Arts, Creation Dao, Sword Dao, and Sealing Dao, and made rapid progress. The Yin and Yang Tao that Renwuji understood. The 5 elements Tao understood by the Dragon Emperor. Aotian understood the way of the Emperor of Heaven, the way of the Emperor of Earth, and the way of the Emperor of Humanity. Tai understood the Swallowing Avenue. They are also quickly approaching the limit of what they can accommodate. Boom! Accompanied by a shocking sound that penetrated the soul. In the Danshan, which is as vast as the starry sky and the universe, all the core talismans have slowly reached the limit of 120,000 feet. Even the most mysterious and difficult to understand destiny talisman has taken a big step forward. It's a pity that the laws of Zhongqian world can only allow people to advance to the golden immortal level, but cannot advance people to a realm above the golden immortal level. Unless the people in this world can understand the higher Taoism from the Tao and make up for the shortcomings of the world, it will be easier for those who come after to make progress. Cultivating enough talented people to make up for the shortcomings of the world is also a way for the world to advance. However, this method takes too long and cannot be accomplished without tens of millions of years of accumulation. Of course, it is not impossible to understand the higher principles in the middle thousand world. After each Zhongqian world advances, Dao Dao will create 3 mid-grade innate spiritual treasures and 9 low-grade innate spiritual treasures. As a reward for world advancement, they are also the luck-suppressing spiritual treasures of this world. As long as you are lucky enough to get 3 middle-grade innate spiritual treasures, you will be able to advance to a higher realm using the laws above those of the golden immortal. The richer the foundation of the world, the more innate divine prohibitions there will be in the innate spiritual treasures. For this moment, Su Junming and Aotian sacrificed the entire Zhulang clan's head. 3,000 small thousand worlds were created in advance. Therefore, the foundation of Chongshan world is almost better than that of all Zhongqian worlds. Wait until the aura of creation disappears and the world stabilizes. The area of Chongshan world has expanded nearly 1,000 times. It was about the same size as the Milky Way he remembered. As the core of the 13 divine states. From the initial diameter of 100 million miles, it has become 1 billion miles, an increase of almost 10 times. There are 3,000 small thousand worlds, the largest one is already 30 million miles away. The smallest one is 1 million miles away. A single head created such a huge world, which shows the tyranny of the top witch of the witch clan. This is a tyrannical force that exceeds Su Junming's cognition. This is also the direction in which he strives. Taking a deep breath, Su Junming stretched out his hand. The divine furnace of heavenly works, the spiritual pond of creation, and the magic falling flag of heavenly demon obtained from the hands of the patriarch of Taicheng mountain fly to the top of the world. The dragon emperor waved his sleeves, and the divine mirror of the void flew into the air. The infinite spiritual energy of creation surged forward, instantly covering the Tiangong divine furnace, the spiritual pond of creation, and the emperor's tower. At the same time, a powerful innate spiritual light, under the control of Aotian, was extracted from the heavenly demon's wonderful falling flag and injected into the void divine mirror. The remaining demon flag body was swallowed by the black hole above Genjuntai's head. Thanks to previous accumulation, the divine furnace of heavenly works, the spiritual pond of creation, the divine mirror of the void, and the Emperor's Tower were all upgraded to top-level mid-level innate spiritual treasures with 24 spiritual restrictions. It is originally a low-grade innate spiritual treasure, so it is naturally easier to advance. Su Junming obtained the Tiangong divine furnace and the creation spirit pond. Ren Wuji has great yin and yang. The Dragon Emperor obtained the divine mirror of the void this time. There is the Emperor's Tower in Aotian. The only true Lord Tai does not have a middle-grade innate spiritual treasure to accompany him, but the heavenly demon Miao falling flag does not have the innate immortal spiritual light, but the body is also a rare and great tonic. If it were completely digested, his black hole magical power would be enough to surpass most low-grade or even mid-grade immortal treasures. After forging the middle-grade innate spiritual treasures and the remaining 9 low-grade innate spiritual treasures, Su Junming didn't care so much. Qin Zhong, bring your Eye of Horus. After Qin Zhong nodded, he spread out his left palm, and a crystal the size of an adult's fist and the shape of an eyeball, mostly blue, with a red crystal in the center, emerged. This was a low-grade innate spiritual treasure that he obtained from a cave in Egypt a century ago. Su Junming tossed it casually, and the Eye of Horus flew into the air. Under the power of the world, it was transformed into a glazed mirror the size of a wash basin. This treasure is called the Martial Saint Mirror, and it contains 19,600 kinds of martial arts illusions. Each illusion is the transformation of a martial skill. In the future, your disciples can devote their souls to hone and learn martial arts. This treasure is also the luck-suppressing treasure of your lineage. Disciple, thank you for giving me this treasure. With a rush of magic power, Wu Shengjing flew into Qin Zhong's hands. Zhenying, your Qinglong seal. Lin Zhenying opened his left palm, and a large green seal with a square shape and a green dragon on top flew into Su Junming's hand. This azure dragon seal, like the Eye of Horus, is also a low-grade innate spiritual treasure. Throw it away with shaking hands. The big seal flew high into the sky, and under the powerful power of heaven and earth, the once green wood attribute became a treasure of yin and yang. The shape of the seal also changed. It is no longer a lying green dragon, but the shape of 2 carps, one black and one white. This Wuji seal contains the mystery of the mutual generation and restraint of yin and yang, and it is the spiritual treasure of your lineage to calm your luck. Thank you, mentor. Xiao Xian, get your Zizi divine cauldron. Qiao Shaoxin nodded, and a little spiritual light flew out of his dantian. The divine light surged, and in an instant, a 3-foot-long purple tripod appeared in mid-air. Su Junming waved his hand and the cauldron flew high into the sky. Forged by heaven and earth, created by the Great Road. Because the Martial Saint Mirror and the Wuji seal are themselves created by innate spiritual treasures, strictly speaking, this Zizi cauldron is the first low-grade innate spiritual treasure forged after Chongshan world advanced. Accompanied by the purple divine light of steaming clouds and rosy clouds, the purple Ji cauldron is wrapped around this aura of creation. From now on, this cauldron will be renamed the Good Fortune Cauldron, and it will be the luck-suppressing spiritual treasure of your lineage. Disciple, thank you teacher. Su Junming waved his hand, and a stream of cyan light flew into Yan Xixia's hand. The aura dispersed, and a cyan-sheathed sword came into view. Yan Xixia felt the extremely rich innate sword energy as soon as she sensed it with her spiritual consciousness. This is the Kingsuo sword, waiting for your third uncle to surrender to Ime. The 2 swords of Xing and Kingsuo are the treasure of your lineage to control your luck. Disciple, thank you teacher, Yan Xixia said respectfully. Su Huang, spear of long Enus. Su Huang nodded, and a golden light suddenly appeared. In an instant, a spear about 2 feet long, with golden light shining all over its body and entwined with innate golden energy, appeared in front of him. The Spear of Long Inus, another low-grade innate spiritual treasure after the Chinese world advanced. It was originally a property of the Holy See. The other party was fighting with Chongshan Academy, but Su Huangkui Shui was killed by his body and took away the spear. The power of heaven and earth fell from the sky, and after holding the spear, it flew high into the sky. In an instant, the infinite golden energy dissipated, and violent ice energy gathered. The Tao in the innate immortal aura is no longer the Zhengjin Tao, but has been changed to the Ice Tao again. A bead the size of a wash basin, completely icy blue, blooming with the charm of ice, flew down in front of Su Huang. The Ice Soul Divine Bead is a luck-calming spiritual treasure for your lineage. Disciple, thank you teacher. Su Junming took out the Mahadharma lun that he got from Amir of Landa Temple and shook his hand. The great Dao is created by nature, and the innate and immortal spiritual light is constantly generated. At the same time, the innate principles of the five elements are also constantly inscribed into it by heaven and earth. In just a moment, red, green, white, black, and yellow, 5 colors of aura bloomed from the body. This is the second low-grade innate spiritual treasure created by Chongshan world. Zhuolong, this innate 5 elements wheel is a spiritual treasure for your lineage. Take it respectfully. Disciple, thank you, Master. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest for us. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 691. Chapter 673, Infinite Maha, Hongmeng Treasure Tree. Pure yang energy and sword energy condensed all over the sky, heaven descended on creation, innate immortal spiritual light emerged from nothingness, and countless laws of pure yang wei and sword wei were engraved. Not long after, a long sword that was 3 feet and 3 inches long, about 1 finger wide, with a pale gold body, and a long swallowed it appeared in everyone's eyes. Su Junming waved, the long sword flew into his hand, and he flicked it with his right hand. 3 ancient etched words of pure yang sword appear below the calyx of the sword. After sizing it up for a moment, he waved his right hand and the long sword flew into Chen Lin's hand. This sword is the treasure of your lineage that suppresses luck. Chen Lin took it with both hands and thanked him respectfully. The Pure Yang Sword is the third low-grade innate spiritual treasure created by Chongshan world, and then the Sun and Moon Essence Wheel containing the Tao of Taiyin is the fourth. The Sun and Moon are just shapes. In fact, the 2 spiritual treasures in this set, one for attack and one for defense, are both lunar attributes. Miao Chufang, this treasure is the luck-suppressing spiritual treasure of your lineage. Disciple, thank you teacher. Looking at Shang Taijin and Pan Luo with calm expressions, Su Junming nodded secretly. After practicing with Ao Tian for many years, if nothing else, my qi nurturing skills have improved a lot. With a wave of his hand, the King Luo bell obtained from the patriarch of Taicheng Mountain, Demon Lord Sima Ling, flew high into the sky. This treasure is considered a top-grade immortal weapon. With this foundation, when heaven creates the innate spiritual treasure, it does not consume the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It only needs to be endowed with innate immortal spiritual light. In addition to the embossed cloud and thunder patterns and the King Luo zhone with the beast's head biting its mouth, there is also a large bright yellow seal next to it. The top of the seal is in the shape of a mountain, with 4 magical runes engraved on its 4 sides. If you use a bronze mirror to understand it, you can feel the 4 different principles of flame, Yun magnetism, Geng metal, and Shui yin. The 4-character etched text at the bottom of the large seal. The Emperor's Treasure Seal. With one move of his hand, the 2 treasures fell into Su Junming's arms. After thinking for a moment, he reached out and flicked it, and the word King Luo engraved on the inner wall of the bronze bell disappeared, replaced by Taoist. The Taoist Bell and the Earth Emperor Seal are the 5th and 6th low-grade innate spiritual treasures created by Chongshan World. They contain the Emperor's Way and the Earth's Emperor's Way respectively. These two treasures are given to you to wait for the luck-suppressing spiritual treasure for you. Disciple, thank you so much, Master. Shang Taijin and Panluo looked respectful after taking the treasure with both hands. Nodding slightly, his majestic gaze swept over everyone. I believe you all know the reason why I gave you all the treasures. Everyone nodded, of course they knew it very well. Although the power of the innate spiritual treasure is strong, it is not much stronger than the top quality immortal weapons with perfect 12 restraints that they have practiced for many years. But the innate spiritual treasure contains innate immortal spiritual light and is engraved with the mantra of the great truth. It allows the disciples to understand the principles, and then understand the Taoism and make progress in Taoism. This is an ability that no top-grade immortal weapon, even a stronger immortal treasure, has. That's why Su Junming said when he bestowed the treasure, it was a luck-suppressing spiritual treasure. To suppress luck is to suppress luck. Where does luck come from? Of course, only if the disciples are passed down continuously and are prosperous from generation to generation can their luck last long. Only if it contains innate spiritual treasures that are suitable for one's own path, can it be called a luck-suppressing spiritual treasure. Now that you all know it, you must make good use of it in the future. Disciple, obey. The crowd shouted loudly. Su Junming nodded slightly. Qin Zhong, Lin Zhenying, Su Huang. The disciple is here. Everyone else's innate spiritual treasures were given by me. Only the 3 of you were transformed by me. To show fairness, I will compensate you a little or two. With a slap on the green gourd on his waist, 3 blue and white porcelain vases flew out. This is the Emperor's pill that I mastered after studying the Guangcheng Golden Pill. I got 9 pills in one furnace. Each pill can increase your cultivation level by 1,000 years. 3 pills for each of you. After taking it, your realm and magic power will be equal. Improve your cultivation even further. Disciple, thank you for giving me the elixir. After Su Junming nodded, his mana held 3 porcelain bottles and flew into the hands of the 3 of them. Okay, today's opportunity is over. You all should go back and understand what you have learned today. Disciple, please obey. Everyone dispersed instantly. After a while, only Su Junming, Renwuji, Long Di, Ao Tian, and Tai were left. There are 3 more opportunities to create innate spiritual treasures. Where are you going to use them? Ao Tian said. After thinking for a moment, Su Junming waved his sleeves, and a stream of light shot straight into the sky. Soon, an armillary sphere that was 3 feet in size and wrapped with infinite divine brilliance appeared in front of everyone. After experiencing the benefits of deceiving Tianji in the Shushan world, Su Junming's expectations for the divine ball of Tianji increased. So taking this rare opportunity, he wanted to train this treasure into an innate spiritual treasure. Su Junming breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the rich aura of creation and the rapidly derived innate immortal aura created by heaven. He was still worried at first, considering the special nature of the way of destiny, whether the way of heaven would create such an innate spiritual treasure. Now it seems that he is worrying too much. Although the path of destiny is difficult to understand and is the most special, it is also one of the 3,000 avenues. Since it is a great avenue, of course there is a corresponding magical weapon. About a quarter of an hour later, the form remained unchanged, but the aura became 100 times stronger, the mysterious energy became more intense, and the cosmic blue-white sphere inside the Tianji divine sphere became deeper and more mysterious. Touch it with your hands and do a little deduction, and all kinds of mysteries that were complicated and difficult to understand in the past are instantly presented to you. The speed has increased countless times. But as before, I still can't deduce my past and future. But I can feel some blessings and misfortunes about my own future. Obviously, the various magical functions of the heavenly mystery ball have been enhanced 100 times. The power of the innate spiritual treasure is beyond reasonable comparison with that of a middle-grade immortal weapon. Next is Sankei Shenmen. In the Sankei Divine Gate, celestial phenomena represent space, Kesiddhagarbha represents seals, and human souls represent divine souls. It can also be a single piece or a set. Su Junming practiced twice. Each of these 3 divine gates is a 6-path innate divine prohibition. There are still 18 innate divine prohibitions before they can reach the pinnacle of low-grade innate spiritual treasures. Su Junming wanted to use them as a sacrifice. But the way of heaven is unpredictable, and an innate spiritual treasure can have up to 12 restrictions. This is still a blessing from the profound foundation of the Chongshan world. If the world's foundation is not enough, it is also normal for there to be innate spiritual treasures and 7 or 8 innate restrictions. Therefore, when each of the 3 divine gates of heaven, earth treasure, and human soul has 10 innate spiritual restraints, the creation of heaven has stopped. Su Junming did not waste the last precious opportunity. The treasures in his mind slowly flowed by, and soon a green divine light flew out from above his head. In an instant, the light shines brightly. A giant tree tens of millions of feet tall, with a majestic aura and a green body, suddenly appeared in mid-air. Palace Treasure Tree. After years of sacrificial training and absorbing countless spiritual energy, this immortal root is still far from reaching its peak. Su Junming is looking forward to what it will look like after it reaches its peak. Because for so many years, he has not been able to understand what kind of avenue the Palace Treasure Tree contains. Rolling creation spiritual energy flew in, and a bit of innate immortal spiritual light was generated inside the treasure tree. Suddenly, something seemed to be awakened. An extremely ancient, majestic, and profound aura slowly filled the air. This feeling derived from the years quickly made Su Junming, Long Di, and others look forward to it. Quickly moving the bronze mirror, Su Junming could see something olive green, simple, and full of infinite vitality sprouting little by little. In a daze, he seemed to see a giant tree born and growing in chaos. Its size has transcended the concept of space and cannot be measured by length and distance. Su Junming seemed to feel different dimensions from it. Within each layer of leaves, there are countless worlds. Su Junming did not feel the breath of laws on it, but it seemed that its branches and leaves contained infinite laws. A line of extremely simple divine writing suddenly appeared in Su Junming's sea of consciousness. Maha Boundless, Hongmeng Treasure Tree. Before he could come to his senses, the hazy giant tree that had spanned an unknown period of time and had only a few images left was suddenly struck by a majestic beam, as if the entire world, space, time, and universe were to be torn in half. The astonishing light cut off. Just by looking at him, Su Junming felt like he was about to die the next moment with a knife hanging on his neck. He had never thought that something could actually perform such amazing magic that was difficult to describe with words. The broken giant tree collapsed, and after endless years, it was divided into 4. One is surrounded by golden flames and is shaped like a mulberry tree. A plant with green leaves and red flowers looks like a huge banyan tree. One tree is entirely indigo, shaped like a majestic poplar tree. The last one is light yellow all over, with straight branches, and is the tallest. Its shape is like a solitary pine. The 4 ancient sacred trees. Su Junming instantly remembered an ancient book he had read. It says that there were 4 sacred trees in ancient times. They are hibiscus trees, which grow in Tangwu, East China Sea. They are millions of feet high and are where the sun rises. Ruomu is located in Kunlun, the land of the West Pole, where the sun sets. Sunmu is located in the Arctic land. It is extremely huge. It connects to the heaven above and the netherworld below. It is extremely huge. Finally, there is Jianmu. As the saying goes, a tree can reach the sky. It is the tallest of the 4 sacred trees. It is located in the center of the earth. It is illuminated by the sun but has no shadow. It connects the heaven and earth and contains infinite space. The legends about the four ancient sacred trees have long been buried in the pile of old papers. If Su Junming hadn't traveled through many worlds and liked to collect ancient books and information, he would have known a little bit about them. However, what he knew was limited to the names of the four sacred trees and some legends made up by later generations. He didn't know the true power of these four sacred trees. Suddenly, the figures of Fuzang Tree, Ruomua, and Sunmu faded away, leaving only the shadow of Jianmu becoming clearer and clearer. Slowly, an indescribable law became immortal in the depths of Su Junming's sea of consciousness. It contains many laws that Su Junming has understood, such as space, creation, earth, and green wood, and some he has never seen before. Chaos, incomprehensible. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 692. Jianmu's shadow became clearer and clearer, and the huge body that once reached the sky and the earth, was immeasurably tall and magnificent, began to gradually shrink. Slowly transformed into a body of 10,000 feet. The figure continued to solidify. After everything stabilized, Su Junming's heart trembled and he suddenly came back to his senses. Where is the shadow of the precious tree in his palace? Only a giant tree with a height of 10,000 feet and luxuriant branches and leaves, obviously a green tree, but blooming with endless yellow brilliance, appears in front of his eyes. The shape was the same as the Jianmu he had seen. It's just too small, like a seedling. Before Su Junming could recover, an extremely obscure message reached his heart. Su Junming was stunned for a moment, and after thinking for a moment, he let go of the message. As his seven-soul Dharmakaya, Renwuji, Dragon Emperor, Ao Tian, and Tai Zhenjun also received it instantly. What do you think? Let Lao Si make his own decision on this matter. After all, he is the way of heaven in Chongshan world, Renwuji said. Dragon Emperor and Tai Zhenjun nodded. Ao Tian met his eyes and smiled. I'm not stupid, of course I agree. With this tree as a support, the speed at which Chongshan world absorbs and refines the acquired chaotic energy will be increased by at least hundreds of times, saving countless lives' hard work. However, this building wood will be mine from now on. Su Junming nodded. When it merges with Chongshan world, I won't be able to use it. Then I'll start. Ao Tian's tone was full of anticipation. After everyone nodded, Su Junming also accepted the spiritual consciousness and restrictions left by Jian Muzhong. Ao Tian stretched out his hand and pointed, and the Jianmu seedlings shone brightly. Infinite light fills the entire Chongshan world. Under the control of Ao Tian, the master of the world of Chongshan master, 1 billion miles in diameter, turned into the trunk of Jianmu. 3,000 small worlds turned into his branches. Billions of planets, big and small, turn into its branches and leaves. The crystal wall of the world turned into clouds that filled the sky, surrounding Jianmu in the middle. The clouds cover the fog, making it difficult to see clearly. The whole process is long and short, waiting for everything to stabilize. Su Junming and others flew out of the main world, and what they saw was still the starry sky, as if everything was the same as before, nothing had changed. Fourth brother, are you okay? Why are you still the same? Renwuji said. Rolling his eyes at him, Ao Tian looked excited. The mystery of innate spiritual roots is beyond your imagination. With a wave of his sleeves, a giant tree, covered by clouds and fog, standing in the endless void, appeared in front of everyone. The height of this tree is trillions of miles across, and the crown of the tree is spread out for 500 trillion miles. Although the scene in front of me was only a few feet in diameter, it revealed an extremely majestic impression. Only outside the world of Chongshan can you see its entirety. If you are inside it, what you see is the starry sky in front of you. Ao Tiandeo. I see. Everyone understood. The Dragon Emperor frowned slightly. It's just a low-grade innate spiritual root. How can it be so powerful that it can accommodate thousands of worlds? It is not an ordinary innate spiritual root, but an ancient sacred tree, Ao Tien sighed. Su Junming took over. The descendants of ancient sacred trees are extremely rare, and the palace treasure tree is one of them. It is also our great opportunity. The destiny of heaven has allowed it to return to its original state and completely advance to the innate level. But unlike ordinary innate spiritual roots, the reason why Jianmu is called a sacred tree is because unlike other innate spiritual roots, it requires innate immortal spiritual light to advance. As long as there is enough power in the world, Jianmu can continue to grow. If Chongshan world can become a world in the future, Jianmu's power will reach an unimaginable level. The Dragon Emperor nodded. That's a real surprise. Gudu, after taking a sip of wine, Tai Zhenjun's face turned a little rosy. It's more than just an unexpected surprise. It's simply a stroke of luck. It's only been 6 or 7 days, but the aura of Chongshan world has already improved a lot. This alone can save hundreds of millions of years of hard work in refining. Su Junming nodded. Although the world has just advanced and is still in the flourishing stage, Jianmu's role is still huge. After a pause, there was a hint of expectation in his eyes. If we can find the Fuzu sacred tree, Ruomua and Sun Mua, I wonder if we can unite the four into one and recreate the power of the Hongmen treasure tree. It's difficult, it's difficult, it's difficult. Tai Zhenjun shook his head repeatedly, from ancient times to ancient times, then to ancient times, and finally to the present. How many great powers have been born in the infinite universe? So far, no one can reproduce the Hongmen treasure tree, and it is difficult for us. Do it? If we can reach the end of our cultivation, it may not be impossible to reappear the Hongmen treasure tree, Ren Wuji said. The end of practice. Everyone couldn't help but think about it. What I'm more curious about is the light that cut off the Hongmen treasure tree, the Dragon Emperor said calmly. I'm also curious, Tai Zhenjun continued after belching. Although it is only a blurred image reflected through the years, the power of the Hongmen treasure tree is unimaginable. Even if it is tyrannical, the vast world cannot compare with it. No, it's not comparable at all. And that light can cut it off with one blow. It's so powerful that it's unbelievable. Don't you think that light is like an axe? Ren Wuji hesitated. Axolite. Everyone quickly recalled what they saw with the help of the bronze mirror. After comparing it before and after, it turned out that it was indeed an axe light as he said. Isn't it Pangu who created the world? Ao Tien hesitated. Su Junming thought for a moment and shook his head. No need to guess, that kind of realm is too far away from us. When we all become De Luo Jinxian, it will not be too late to speculate. For now, it is better to practice step by step. As soon as he finished speaking, the Dragon Emperor's expression suddenly turned cold. Ren Wuji, who was sitting opposite him, noticed it instantly. What's wrong? The Dragon Emperor flicked his fingers, and vertical words appeared in mid-air. When everyone looked at it, their expressions varied. Ime invites us to fight at Ime Ningbai Cliff in half a year, Ren Wuji said. The drunken Taoist and the bearded immortal Li Yuan, who personally delivered them to our upper court in Rongcheng, Shushan Mountain, and Wolong just handed them over to me, said the Dragon Emperor. Having seen the tyranny of this deity who controlled the hundreds of thousands of monks in Landa Temple, and dared to come and declare a challenge, it seems that the people of Ime are really confident in their Lianji mode formation, Ao Tien said. They have no way out. Unless they are willing to give up thousands of years of accumulation and hand over the fate of the Shushan cultivation world to us, they must fight this battle, Tai Zhenjun said. After everyone nodded, Su Junming examined the words in mid-air. Now that the incident in Landuo Temple has been spread, if Ime still dares to take action, he must have a strong backup force. It is very likely that Master Chen Mei has returned from the Lingkong immortal realm. So what if he comes back? Compared to us now, we are still far behind, Ren Wuji said. The Dragon Emperor reached out and made a move, and a bronze mirror shrouded in a hazy azure light fell from the sky. Without the need for magic power, a tyrannical pressure had already spread out. With this treasure, no matter how cultivated Master Chinmay is, he will not be able to escape this disaster. After being created by heaven in Chongshan world, the divine mirror of the void has transformed into an innate spiritual treasure with 24 innate spiritual restrictions. Moreover, it is an extremely rare and powerful space Dao innate spiritual treasure. Unless there is a spiritual treasure of the same level, no one in this world can resist it. There is a sense of determination in the words of this letter of war, and the location of the battle is Imei Ningbai Cliff. It is obvious that Imei is thinking of success or failure. The methods are also resorting to all possible means. Although we have a sure chance of victory, we dare not be careless. Su Junming continued, in half a year, you take Yan Chixia and Su Huang there. The Dragon Emperor nodded. Tai, you are holding the battle in secret. There is no need to take action unless necessary. Haha, don't worry. True Lord Tai responded. With the two of them here, plus the Void Mirror and other treasures, it would be enough for even the top sect in the upper world, let alone Imei in the Shushan world. Okay, the advancement of Chongshan world is over, you can go back each other. Su Junming waved his hand. The soul projections of Renwuji, Dragon Emperor and Supreme Lord Tai dispersed instantly. Only Su Junming and Ao Tian are left here. It's enough to have Lao San and Lao Wu in Imei. When are you going to the Lingkong Fairyland? Ao Tian said. You just advanced to Chongshan world, and you can't help but eat the next meal. To me, this is cultivation. It's the same as you need to collect qi and practice qigong every day. You can't relax at any time, otherwise you will stagnate. Su Junming nodded, the Imei matter is over, I will go to the Lingkong immortal realm. Ao Tian frowned slightly. It's just Imei. It's already a meal on the plate. The third and fifth children are enough. Why do you need to waste your energy? Su Junming's eyes were profound, everything must be perfect. He paused and turned his head. Isn't it the same for you? The current world power of Chongshan world has surpassed Chixian Shenzhou Tiandao. If you want to swallow it, you can always achieve it with a lot of effort. Ao Tian rolled his eyes. Don't say you don't know the reason. Su Junming smiled faintly, took a step, and disappeared instantly. In addition to the will of heaven, there are also difficulties in human nature to annex Chixian Shenzhou. In Chixian Shenzhou, which has developed for hundreds of thousands of years, there are dozens of golden immortals, hundreds of mysterious immortals, thousands of true immortals, and tens of thousands of earthly immortals. This is just a conservative estimate. If a war breaks out between the two worlds, these monks will be the main force to resist the world of Chongshan. Under the guidance of Chixian Shenzhou Tiandao, rivers of blood must be shed to complete the final annexation. If Chixian Shenzhou was a magical world, Su Junming and Ao Tian wouldn't mind doing this. However, Chixian Shenzhou is a world of righteousness and emphasizes merit. Every Qi practitioner who becomes an immortal is a person with profound moral principles. Killing such a world would be a huge crime, and neither Su Junming nor Ao Tian was willing to do so. Therefore, the best way is to control the way of heaven with the way of humanity. When the two worlds merge, things will go smoothly and the effect will be doubled.